The new Crimson Mansion open world dungeon has just been released. We can now jump in, access all the mobs, and get a whole load of new loot. And it can certainly be very profitable. So in this video, I want to go over everything you should know. If I miss anything, feel free to leave it in the comments below. So first of all, this dungeon is absolutely massive, but even with that, you may still struggle to find a place free of other players. I took my group to B3, ultimately the lowest point in the dungeon, and there wasn't that many people here. We even got through an entire night phase without getting ganked. And that could also be because there are nighttime chests here, much like Aragon Island and the Shadowed Crypt, and so those PvP players would for the most part be fighting over those, and then closer towards the entrance where people keep trying to come back. So we had a pretty good free farm here, and I ultimately spent about 43,000 contract tokens and got through over 60 of the contract scrolls. Probably could have gotten through those contract scrolls a little bit faster if we had optimized our efficiency a bit more. And that's what I'll help you with some tips later on in this video. Now, unfortunately, you're still going to get an absolute ton of blue gear here, although a lot of it's going to be tier 2 blue gear, which you can then fill out your lithograph book, and otherwise just trade together a bunch of trash items, and then you will go to dissolve this, getting all that extra magic powder. But then those contract scroll pouches, we got 39, we opened them all here, and we got super lucky. From these particular pouches, you can get the pants and you can get the hand pieces, but the drop rate on the hand pieces is still super minuscule. I got fortunate and got 2 of those Vanguard pants, which I could then go on to list as lithographs, and both sold very quickly. I later went to open another 24 pouches, and again we got pretty lucky and got the Vanguard pants again, which I went on to sell for a little bit less than the first 2, and we can see the price has been dropping and it's now only like 800. If you want to wait, the price will probably drop to like 400 or lower. Or just go farm the dungeon for yourself. Get those contract scrolls, farm the mobs, and get those rewards. The actual drops from the mobs, I honestly didn't really get anything good. The other tier 2 items I dropped were 3 of these shredder daggers and then 3 of these moonlight crossbows, along with first light tunic and a feral prophet's overcoat. Pretty good, but that is considering opening over 60 of those contract scroll pouches, which is the main place you actually get that tier 2 gear. But there are ultimately 2 different contract scrolls you can use in this dungeon, so you may be wondering which one is best. You have Crimson Mansion 1 and Crimson Mansion 2. Well, the ones I did were all Crimson Mansion 2, and these have those Vanguard arm pieces, as you can see here, and then the leg pieces. But they also have the Chosen set and the Ring of Eternal Flames, along with some other useful items, but nothing that's going to have as much value as the Vanguard pieces. And then if you open the contract scroll ones, those have different pouches with different items. You can see it has the spear and the greatsword, but they're not really worth anything. And then it has some useful set bonus items here too, along with, yes, the chest piece, but it is like a 0.2% drop rate. So you're gonna have to open like 500 pouches to have a reasonable chance at actually getting this. And it's gonna be the most expensive one, including the arms. But the prices should drop as more and more people actually farm these and don't actually need those Vanguard pieces. But ultimately, keep in mind the areas that you need to farm are different for those contract scrolls. So the number 2s, the ones I was doing, you can do on the bottom floor. But the other scroll, the contract token ones with these grudge pouches, you have to go to the first floor, B1 and B2 to complete those objectives to get the pouches. B3 again is for the contract scroll 2s. And for those contract scroll 2s, my best farm spot was down here at the bottom, tucked away in a corner, and you can kite the enemies and get some great pulls and kill a load of dudes. What you need to be careful of those is these enemies pack a punch, and you probably really want to bring a healer with you. and a good one at that. I personally had 2 healers in my party to begin with. Later on, he dropped out, and then we just had 1, and it's manageable, but you want a very good healer build, and you want to be staggering your heal over times like your fountain and your flash wave. So ultimately, my 2 hours of farming was very profitable, nearly 3,000 lucent, but I didn't get any gear I want. Like, I'm going for the chosen set, and I'm going for certain accessories, and other than getting the loyalty coins for every contract you complete, I only got lucent to help towards my build, which I'm totally not going to complain. That was a very lucky haul from just 60 pouches. And other than that, I did get some extra ores, we did get a load of solent, and this was pretty much it here. Again, 43,000 abyss tokens spent. I could have optimized it a bit better with target farming enemies a bit better in order to complete these contracts, as depending on your location, you might not have, say, wraiths. We were farming in our one section all the time, and just adjacent to it is a section where you have all of these wraiths, and they actually hurt a lot more than the other guys, so just be careful of that. And again, highly recommend bringing a healer in here, at least for the beginning when we don't have min-max builds. It can take some time to actually kill these enemies, as they have over 300,000 hit points, and so having some healing can be very important. I can't fully suggest exactly where to go to farm enemies for yourself, but in terms of the contracts you pick up, I don't generally recommend getting the ones that require a boss. There are enough that you can get a full set of the ones that just require you to kill multiple enemies. Like it says 8 and 6 here, you take it. 8, 9, 4, 12, 12, 6, 9, 8, and you just take those. And if it says like 1, like this right here, then this is probably going to be your boss. And so you will struggle to beat this one depending where you're located, and it can be a waste of time to actually kill those bosses. So just refresh and pick up the contracts that just require you to kill enemies, not the bosses. And that's it. It's really easy here with these contracts. And again, the contract ones, so on the upper floors, similarly have contracts which just require you to kill enemies. And you can find areas where you can just group up all those enemies, and it's super easy and efficient in this dungeon. Like, I think the only real reason to go back to like temple would be to kill the guardian golems to get the vanguard boots, which will sell for a ton still, particularly now that more people have access to the vanguard set, and so more people will actually be wanting to get those pieces. And that's exactly what has happened with the head pieces. There's now only 1 available, when this thing on average sold for like 500 lucent. Ultimately, don't get lost here. We can't use the stones yet until we actually finish the milestone, which should be when we complete Frenzied Ice Power, milestone 9. So still another few days before we can actually teleport between levels. But you simply go down here to descend to B1. You can head down this hallway, jump and fly down here, and then you can go through this hole and you're going to end up in B2. And once down here, you can go over to the left, down this hallway, and you will take your first right, and then you can simply head straight across the entire map. These guys are beating up a boss. You can see on the map, our goal is to go all the way to the stairs. This is the exact same area as the Twisted Laboratory, but once you get to the boss room, careful that the mobs actually hurt quite a bit. You're just going to descend down here, and this will get you to B3. Here we are, and this place is massive, and it's very symmetrical as well. So you're basically going to have these quadrants. You see this area here, here, and over there, and they're kind of connected in the middle. You can go between. And so one section is going to have like the wraiths and then the other mobs. And so it can be good to like alternate between the two. You can kite the enemies to like the middle spot and then kill them all, and just take advantage of corners to kite the enemies who are like ranged together. You can see again, these enemies are all like these wraiths. And then on the other side, you're going to have these like cursed archers, blade beasts. And so you're going to have to like dabble your feet in both sections in order to make the most to complete all your contract scrolls. And the boss generally spawns in the middle, just like down here. can see there he is. But again, it's up to you if you want to kill him. He has like over 3.7 million hit points, and the same mechanic put you in a prison. I'm probably dead here. The enemies will kill you super fast if you don't have a good build and don't have a healer with you. Even taking a tank might be advisable. And that's ultimately it for the Crimson Mansion. It is honestly a very profitable dungeon, so jump in, go there and do your contracts. They are very valuable pouches right now. Unfortunately, still no news of the Birkin weapons or Crimson weapons. Some of you had hoped we'd get more news of it, or we'd get somewhat of a release of it with the Crimson Dungeon, but no. These weapons are still unavailable to us. You never know, they might release it next week with Trials, Runes and Resonance. Or yes, even later down the line, drip feeding the content. But that's it for now. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you guys around.